In all the games I have previewed so far, in my opinion, this is the most likely upset out of all of them. And you got the number 6 seed North Carolina going up against the number 11 seed VCU. North Carolina is currently 2.5 point favorite heading into this one. This is a North Carolina team without Caleb Wilson. This is a North Carolina team that's going to be very dependent on Henry Vasar and Seth Trimble. Those are their two offensive guys. Now, they don't shoot a ton of threes. They don't shoot it very well when they do, but those have been really the two guys since Caleb Wilson has been out. This is a pretty balanced team. It's a pretty good offense and a pretty good defensive team. They do a really good job defensively from two. Not necessarily the greatest at preventing 3-point percentage, but this is a team coming into the tournament that are coming off of a few losses, coming off of a loss to Clemson in the ACC tournament, coming off of a loss to Duke as well. Obviously, Duke, the number one overall seed, so coming off of that, not necessarily the biggest concern, but this is a team that isn't going into the tournament playing very well right now, going into a matchup against a VCU team that had to win their tournament to get in, had to win the Atlantic 10, at least according to the NCAA tournament committee. This is a VCU team that is just overall solid, right? Like if you look at offensively, defensively, they're worse than North Carolina is, but this is a team that does a really good job protecting the ball. This is a team that is really good at getting to the free throw line. They're okay at the free throw line when they do, 73.9%, but this is a team that also shoots the ball well from three. And if you look at this North Carolina defensively, they're really good at stopping the two, but the 3-point percentage is not the greatest. And this is a VCU team that shoots the three at a 36.7% clip. Defensively, they're good at stopping the two. You look at North Carolina shooting the two, they're better shooting the two than they are shooting the three. This is really kind of a matchup that you can really see some characteristics of a possible upset, right? Of an 11 seed being a 6 seed. Now it's a 2.5 point favorite, right? Like it wouldn't be a huge upset, but at the end of the day, there's some signs here that you can see why. Now, VCU, while they do shoot a three at a solid clip, they don't shoot a ton of them. And I think that's really the biggest concern, I think, heading into this one, is even though they don't shoot a ton of them, this is a team that can shoot it pretty well. And this is a team that is playing very well because, like I specifically mentioned, heading into this tournament, they needed to win the Atlantic 10. And they were able to do that. This is a VCU team that is going to be really dependent on two kind of guys, just like North Carolina is. It's going to be Terrence Hill Jr. and Lazar Djokovic. That's it. Those are their main two offensive guys. Now, Terrence Hill is pretty good at shooting the three. 200 attempts this year, 35%. Solid clip for 200 attempts. This is a VCU team that I think North Carolina really has to keep an eye on for, because this is a VCU team comparatively to what North Carolina has done recently. This is a VCU team that is dangerous. This is a VCU team coming into this game playing with a ton of confidence. Now, if you look at just overall the history of these two, you are obviously going to see the name North Carolina and pick them, most likely. North Carolina can still win this game. I think the loss of Caleb Wilson, especially in this specific game, is absolutely massive. If Caleb Wilson was playing in this game, not only do I think North Carolina would obviously be a better seed, I think this is a game where he absolutely takes over. This isn't a competitive game for the most part, and I think this is a game that you really kind of trust that North Carolina would get its job done. But if you look at just who North Carolina has that can really rely on the offensive side of the ball, who North Carolina does well defensively compared to what VCU does defensively well, offensively well as well, it just kind of lines up where you're seeing these things where VCU, what they do well, those are weaknesses for North Carolina. And you look at what North Carolina does, guess what? It seems to really work out that VCU can pull off this upset. But this is a huge game for Hubert Davis. I think this is an absolutely massive game. I think he needs to get this win. Now, the good thing for North Carolina, I think really a big part of what they do well defensively as well is they don't foul much. VCU gets to the line quite a bit. If they can prevent VCU from getting to the line, I think that is the biggest difference in this one. I think it's going to be about, can VCU get to line? Can VCU shoot the ball overall from three well enough to get a chance to win this game? If North Carolina can keep VCU off the line, if they can force VCU to make mistakes, which North Carolina hasn't typically done this year, they haven't forced many turnovers, but also North Carolina is pretty decent at protecting the ball as well. This is a game that North Carolina could very much win. And I think it's going to really be dependent on free throw shooting, who can get to the line more, and who can get better play out of their main guys. I think Henry Vasar is going to be absolutely huge. I think Terrence Hill Jr. will be absolutely huge. Like I've said before in videos, guard play wins in March. Seth Trimble is a really good guard. Henry Vasar is a really good big. Terrence Hill Jr. is a really good guard. LeVar is a really good big. I can see this game being really close, really competitive. I think it's going to come down to the very, very end, and I think it's going to come down to free throw shooting percentage. And even if it does, VCU is a solid free throw shooting team. North Carolina is one of the worst free throw shooting team in the entire country. That could be the difference. Getting to the line, making shots, the stars really step up. If Henry Vasar and Seth Trimble outplay Terrence Hill and LeVar, I think that is going to be the biggest difference in this one. But we'll definitely see what happens. It's going to be one of those, I think, really games you can go both ways. And I think you're going to see a ton of upset picks on this one. But is it really that big of an upset? Let me know. Who do you have winning this game? Let me know in the comments if this is something that you enjoyed. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment as well. I'll obviously be previewing other games. I'll do recaps as well. Really appreciate everyone for tuning in. Definitely tune in to episodes. Let me know your thoughts. And I'm really excited that March is here.